I'm about to tell you as a woman the 4 psychological traits that quietly hijack a woman's brain and make her unable to stop thinking about you. And here's the uncomfortable part. Most men do the exact opposite of these traits, which is precisely why most men get ignored. The 4th trait on this list is the one that women will never ever openly admit triggers them, but it does every single time. So here's something that might sting a little. A study published in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology found that women are more attracted to men whose feelings are unclear to them, more than men who clearly like them, and more than men who clearly didn't. Read that again. Women were most drawn to the guys they couldn't quite figure out. Not the ones who showered them with attention, not the cold, distant ones either, the ones who kept them guessing. Now, before you roll your eyes and say, "Oh, great, another video telling me to play games," hold on. That is not what this is about. What I'm about to break down for you are not tricks, not manipulation tactics, and not some pickup artist nonsense from 2009. These are actual psychological traits rooted in behavioral science and evolutionary psychology that fundamentally change the way a woman perceives you. And I'm telling you this as a woman who has felt these shifts firsthand. I've been in conversations with men who had none of these traits, and I felt nothing. Zero. And I've met men who weren't even traditionally attractive, but something about the way they carried themselves made my brain go haywire. I couldn't explain it at the time. Now I can. Here's what most guys get wrong. They think attraction is about saying the right thing, wearing the right clothes, or having the right jawline. And sure, those things don't hurt. But attraction, real, deep, I can't stop thinking about him. Attraction is triggered by psychological patterns. Patterns that bypass logic entirely. A woman doesn't choose to chase a man. Something in her psychology compels her to. And the men who naturally have these 4 traits, they don't chase women. Women chase them consistently, almost predictably. And the wildest part, these traits aren't genetic. You're not born with them or without them. They are developed, which means by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly what switches to flip inside yourself. But I need to warn you about something first. And this is important. If you only half learn these traits, if you treat them like surface level hacks, they will backfire badly. A woman can sense inauthenticity faster than you can blink. So pay close attention because I'm going to explain not just what these traits are, but why they work at a neurological level and how to actually embody them without faking anything. Let's get into the first one. And honestly, this one alone will change the way women respond to you overnight. There is nothing, and I mean nothing, that repels a woman faster than a man who needs her to feel okay about himself. And there is almost nothing more magnetically attractive than a man who is emotionally complete on his own. Now, I know that sounds harsh, but let me explain the psychology behind it. Dr. Robert Glover, the author of No More Mr. Nice Guy, calls this the nice guy syndrome, the pattern where men unconsciously seek validation, approval, and emotional stability from the women they're attracted to. They text too much, they overcompliment, they agree with everything she says, they mold their personality around her preferences, and they genuinely believe they're being loving and attentive. But here's what's actually happening inside her brain. When a man behaves this way, a woman's subconscious reads it as a threat signal, not a physical threat, a survival threat. Evolutionary psychologists argue that women evolved to seek partners who demonstrate emotional resilience because for thousands of years, a woman's survival and the survival of her children depended on being with a man who could remain stable under pressure. A man who crumbles emotionally when she pulls back, when she doesn't text back fast enough, when she talks to another guy at a party, that man signals weakness to her limbic system. Not because he's actually weak, but because her ancient brain is running software that's thousands of years old. So, what does emotional self-sufficiency actually look like in practice? It looks like a man who has a rich internal world. He has hobbies he genuinely cares about. He has friendships that fulfill him. He has goals that excite him independent of any relationship. When he's with a woman, he's present and engaged. But when she's not around, his world doesn't collapse. His happiness is not contingent on her response time. I once went on a date with a guy who halfway through dinner got a text and smiled. I asked him what it was about, and he said his buddy just sent him a photo from a hiking trip they'd planned for the following month. He started talking about this trail with so much genuine excitement. His eyes lit up, his whole energy shifted, and in that moment, something clicked inside me. I realized this man had a full life. I was an addition to it, not the foundation of it, and that single realization made me want to be part of his world 10 times more than if he had spent the entire dinner telling me how amazing I was. Here's the contrast. Another guy I dated would text me, "Good morning," every single day, and if I didn't respond within an hour, he'd follow up with "Everything okay?" By week 2, I felt suffocated. Not because he was a bad person, he was genuinely sweet, but because his emotional well-being was clearly hanging on my responses, and that pressure, even when unspoken, is something every woman can feel. The takeaway: stop trying to be her source of happiness. Become your own source first. When your emotional cup is already full, a woman doesn't feel pressured to fill it. And paradoxically, that's when she wants to pour into it the most. Now, trait number 2 builds directly on this, and it's the one that creates what psychologists call intrusive thinking. That's the clinical term for when someone can't get you out of their head. And yes, there's a specific trait that triggers it. The human brain is a prediction machine. Neuroscientist Dr. Carl Friston's research on the free energy principle shows that our brains are constantly trying to predict what will happen next. And when something breaks our prediction, when reality doesn't match what we expected, our brain releases a spike of dopamine and assigns heightened attention to that stimulus. This is the same mechanism that makes gambling addictive, that makes plot twists in movies so satisfying. And here's the key: that makes certain men absolutely unforgettable to women. Most men are painfully predictable. They follow the same script every time: compliment her appearance, ask about her day, agree with her opinions, text at the same times, escalate at the same pace. And because a woman's brain can predict every next move, there's no dopamine spike, no heightened attention, no intrusive thinking. She knows exactly what she's going to get. And knowing exactly what you're going to get is the clinical definition of boredom. Now, calibrated unpredictability is not about being chaotic or unreliable. That's a crucial distinction. An unreliable man triggers anxiety and distrust. An unpredictable man triggers curiosity and excitement. The difference is emotional safety. She needs to feel safe with you, but surprised by you. Safe in the sense that she trusts your character. Surprised in the sense that she can never quite predict your next move.